Welcome to Ascent Life Live. That's Ascent Life Live. I'm your host, R. Brandon Long, here with the mission to inspire 1 million people a day to live their best lives and be the best version of themselves. That is living an Ascent Life. Fly Eagles Fly. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning last night. They dominated in the Super Bowl, and the book Inner Excellence even made the cameras. They showed Philly wide receiver A.J. Brown with the book. Later, when asked about it, Brown said he didn't need the book last night. His teammates were just giving him they were just razzing him on the sidelines. But the book made an appearance, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So more on that in just a minute. We'll go over the updates on the readings on Inner Excellence. First of all, updates on personal finance, fitness goals to just stay on track for fitness. Weighed in 223. That's the same as last week. So I stalled around this 223 number. I ate like a horse yesterday. It was a Super Bowl, but also I was working on the mountain all day long on Saturday and Sunday, emceeing a local junior free ride comp and sitting for about 8 hours on top of a cold mountain. And so I was really, really hungry. We had snacks on the mountain, but let's just say for the most part, they weren't really the healthiest snacks. I could have planned the food much better. My goal for February is to drop down to a 216. That's like a 6.5, 7 pound weight loss from January. Began the whole journey at 230. So 2.5 pounds a week. I'll have to really watch my diet. Probably have to ditch the treadmill on the weekends and go outside for some long hikes or something. We'll see. But it's honestly better to go outside because it's that time of year where it's going to start getting warmer. By warm, I mean 40s. So for the financial goal of increasing the business revenue by $4,000 a month as of April 1st, did not progress in moving that number, but got some interesting news about some possible collaborations in the future. So basically it's just time to go biz to biz, like door to door on the sponsorships things to see how far I can get. All right, this week's wisdom, or today's wisdom from the pages, diving into chapter 5 of Inner Excellence, Code of the Samurai. This is the book, Inner Excellence. Listen, if it works for the world champion Philadelphia Eagles, I guess it can work for us too, right? So I'll read some of my favorite passages that I underlined under chapter 5, Code of the Samurai. The paradox of the samurai is that they learned how to fight to the death by focusing on love of honor and service more than self. Mastering others, this is a quote by Lao Tzu. Mastering others is, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself makes you fearless. Interesting. Chinese philosopher. Just left the dentist, so I have kind of a dry mouth. All right. There's no one on earth who can bring to the world what you can bring. You are the only one. I like that. If you cling to your life like you'll lose it, give up your life to gain it. So this is talking about, I'll have to take a drink of water there. Something's in the throat. All right. That should help. Talking about letting go of your ego, essentially. You got to kill your ego to move on. Clinging to your life brings comparison and judgment, tension and separation. The greatest lives ever lived had extraordinary belief. They believed in love. Fuel your heart every day with words, ideas, and stories of those who have gone before you and lived in love. Again, these are passages from Inner Excellence, chapter 5, Code of the Samurai. Write your thoughts in a journal. Excuse me. I think this is before going to bed at night. This is how to move on each day and not go to bed stressed. And when you go to sleep, or you go to lay down at night and you go to sleep and your mind is going 100 miles an hour, he basically says, write it down. Do not live with that into your sleep. Write your thoughts in a journal. A lot of us have carried our worries and concerns to bed with us. This is a mistake. When we sleep, our subconscious minds process the days, events, and consolidates our memories. If we haven't dealt with the day in a positive manner, our subconscious mind may embed the mistake or painful memory even more. This is one reason prayer before bed is so powerful. It's letting go of your attachments and letting God take over. By the way, this book, it's not overtly religious. It's based off the samurai, which I guess is a type of religion. But God here in these references are more being referred to as a belief in a higher power, something bigger than us, right? Don't lose out on beauty and joy because you're afraid of pain. Yeah. This little mini chapter within a chapter, the header says, happy, happy, joy, joy. It's difficult to not put happiness on a pedestal. Western culture says happiness is success. Success is supposedly about making you and your family happy and comfortable. Happiness has become the great pursuit, but in reality, chasing happiness is the great mistake. Chasing happiness is the great mistake. The pursuit of inner excellence and fullness of life quickly becomes the path to inner mediocrity when you spend your life trying to find happiness to fill your lack of joy. You'll end up chasing your tail and losing out on so much it'll make you dizzy. Perspective. We miss out on the incredible beauty because we spend so much time focusing on problems instead of possibilities. Yeah. To learn self-mastery and live extraordinary lives, we must embrace discomfort. Without pain, there's no growth. We can never become who we were born to become when we resist the adversity and challenges necessary for our development. Okay, that's huge, and that one sticks with me, I think, through the most out of this chapter. He goes on to talk about Apollo Alton Ono, the speed skater and Olympic champion, and how he kind of embraced pain to win, meaning he practiced a lot. On climbing, and this is, Ascent Life. This is the greatness behind the double meaning of ascent. But there's a little bit here on sports psychology and climbing. So it says climbers who successfully reached the summit of Mount Everest, when asked what it took to achieve the goal, one climber acknowledged, "The greatest, most single thing is to experience hardship. I have suffered a lot on other expeditions before going to Everest. People often asked me what it takes to do Everest, and to be honest, it's a lifetime of suffering. That is what you draw on. The ability to say, I can sustain the suffering. Climbing Everest is like an aching tiredness that goes right into the depths of your soul. So the first time hardship shows up on Everest, it is a very long suffering period. You are able to endure because you say, yes, I have suffered like this before, and I have suffered for protracted periods of time. So, yeah, get used to the suffering. Sounds like a good time on Everest. Okay, the great pursuit, a.k.a. the great mistake, which is the pursuit of happiness, the belief that I must be happy and comfortable and free of pain. Pride and pleasure, ego and comfort are all potential obstacles to the transformation that awaits those who are willing to face their fears. So it's the acceptance of pain. This is a quote by Elizabeth Rose, who was the youngest Canadian to climb the 7 summits. Suffering isn't something I avoid. It's something I love. I love what it brings, what's on the other side of it. When we're climbing Mount Everest, we're all suffering together, facing the same battle, chasing the same dream. Suffering makes the accomplishment that much more fulfilling. Okay. Let's see. Did not really matter what we expected from life, but rather what life expected from us. We needed to stop asking about the meaning of life and instead to think of ourselves as those who were being questioned by life, daily and hourly. And that's inserted quote here from Russian writer Dostoevsky. Okay, continuing on in the Code of Samurai of chapter of Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. He says, Fullness of life is on the other side of selflessness, which includes the willingness to suffer. When you completely give up yourself for a powerful purpose, to love others first and foremost. That selflessness gets you out of your head and silences the critic, the monkey mind, and the trickster. And so you have to read the book to get into know exactly what the critic, the monkey mind, and the trickster is. But this is a line telling you how to silence those things that distract you. Okay. The route of a champion is very narrow. If you are willing to travel the path, it's the path of risk and failure, learning and growth. The champion is not the one with talent as much as the one with grit, passion, and perseverance. Perhaps even the grit you have right now, but the grit you'll gain, not even the grit you have right now, but the grit you'll gain from facing your fears today and being willing to fail. A lot of good stuff. You can see why the wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles carries a book like this around to sort of just pull from when you're feeling like frustrated on the sidelines throughout the season. Now, he had a good night, or they had a good night. The Eagles had a great night last night, so he was not in need of the book, even though the book showed up on national TV during the Super Bowl. The key is to live as if you'll die tomorrow and prepare as if you'll live forever. Self-mastery is largely a matter of dropping your attachments. Find a purpose beyond yourself for which you can dedicate your life. Yeah, that's huge. The journey of self-awareness and higher purpose is the path forward to freedom. In your quest for success, the ultimate triumph is to be your true self, the best part of you, fearless and fully present, constantly seeking to learn and grow and to help others do the same. To do this, you must be willing to die by way of sacrificing your old, self-centered nature and putting your ego aside for something greater. I want you to see if you're being true to yourself or are instead filled with attachments to external things and the self-consciousness that comes with trying to please others and fit in. Yeah, that's a jam-packed chapter right there. So my takeaway from that particular chapter is to embrace discomfort. Essentially, that is from Wisdom from the Pages. I do have an Instagram account of the day. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm at Ascent Life, and I do post as much inspirational things as I can up there on the daily, mostly on the stories. But I do like to share. Let's see, share screen. Here it is, right here. Some accounts, Instagram accounts that I find interesting, such as Vitter's Shipyard. They have 24.7 thousand followers. Creative minds and skillful hands building luxurious super yachts to the highest standards. So you get a little behind the scenes look at Vitter's Shipyard. And they do have really large vessels that they make, but they do kind of go behind the scenes into what it takes to build some of these beautiful sailboats, yachts, and then you can see the work that goes into it. But I think it's cool. I think it's fascinating. These yachts are absolutely enormous. I have no idea who buys these besides billionaires. Maybe ex like yacht racer people, sailboat race people. I don't know. This is a really pretty picture right here. Like this one. Pull this one up. Yeah, that's gorgeous. But so, if you're looking for some fun people to follow and not trash on Instagram, may I suggest Vitter's Shipyard. That is one that I do like. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this update for this week. Thanks for tuning in to the live episode of Ascent Life Live. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a guest, still booking guests. So if you have made it this far in the program, please subscribe on YouTube and X at rbrandonlong. And for your daily dose of visual inspiration, again, follow Ascent Life on Instagram. Thanks for joining me on this journey. We all learn in real time how to level up and become the best version of ourselves. No wasted ability. We'll catch you tomorrow on Ascent Life.